You are now listening to the Morning Grits podcast, where we talk about sports in a raw and authentic way. Sports for the fan, from a fan. It's your boy Joseph, aka Jay with the Grits, and I'm back once again. What's going on, y'all? You already know I'm here. It's the NFL playoffs this weekend. And look, I got somebody new with me. I got my man D White. He's in the building. He's repping that Rams jersey. What's up with you,
Yeah,
boy?
it's chilling, baby. Squad in the playoffs, so it's all uphill from here.
It looks like you already ready for the game.
Oh, I might sleep in this. Honestly, I might sleep in this for good luck. It's Todd Gurley. He's not with us anymore, but our running backs need some help. So we might need to channel that into Gurley and get some good yards tomorrow.
Y'all gonna need a little bit of something. You guys got a game that's coming up this weekend, and since we already here, we might as well get on it. I know you a Rams fan, but you guys are playing the
Yep.
Seahawks. You and the Seahawks have been battling each other for the last few years, neck and neck. Sometimes the games go
Mm-hmm.
your way, sometimes the games go the Seahawks' way. You got a big
Yep.
matchup. You got Goff, who potentially might not even play, and you
Yeah.
have Russell Wilson, who
Wilson.
is potentially the MVP of the league.
He's been
He's that
balling.
guy. Hey, the
Yep.
Seahawks, they always play these games close. So if it does come down
Exactly.
to a close game, they are definitely ready. So with these morning grits, pick six for the NFL playoff edition, what do we have for this game? Let's start it off the right way. Your
All right.
Rams
So
versus the Seahawks. What you got?
I'm taking my Rams. Easy money. Definitely taking the Rams because we split everything season by season. It's usually win one, lose one, win one, lose one. We won the first one, lost the second. Seahawks won, so now it's their turn to lose. Easy money. Plain and simple.
Wow. That's
But
like being
then
in school and
also,
you taking a test on a Scantron and you picking A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B.
hey, sometimes it works. Sometimes it works. But two, I think the defense is going to be really confused because they don't know if they're preparing for Goff, a guy who stays in the pocket, runs outside a little bit, but throws it, or Wolford, who's a guy who wants to get outside and he can throw it down the field or he can take off. So the defense right now, their game plan, it's not set in stone. They're iffy. They're like, if Goff starts, we'll do this. If Wolford starts, we'll do this. So they're not too prepared either way. And we have Cup coming back. So that means we got a full-fledged offense. We got Cup, we got Woods, then we got our two tight ends, we got Everett, and we got Higbee. So we got a full range of weapons right now. The Seahawks not ready.
Cooper Kupp is your number one receiver, right? So you got to have
Yep,
him on the field. He's big game, especially
exactly.
when it comes to the playoffs. You know he's going to come through. But he's the
Yep.
man when it comes to Goff throwing him the ball. How reliable can this Wolford guy be, whether it's scrambling at the pocket or even passing the ball?
Hey, well, he proved last weekend he can lean on Woods, who's also called Mr. Reliable, because every time we need a big play in the clutch, Woods is there. So he leaned on Woods and he leaned on Gerald Everett, two big play guys for us. So no matter who we have at quarterback, if we have Goff, it's gonna lean on Cup and Higbee, and if we have Wolford, it's gonna be on Woods and Everett. And who knows? The backup quarterback, he might really depend on Goff too. So we haven't seen that yet, but I already know he has his two. Each quarterback has their two favorites, so we'll be good either way.
One thing that is pretty much for certain, right? So when you look at the Rams are pretty
Hmm.
much known for not just the offense, which the offense kind of struggled this year as opposed to the past few years. But when you look
Yeah,
at the
for sure.
Rams, the defense has always been a consistent being, and that's always led by Aaron Donald.
Hmm.
How can Aaron Donald and his defense with Jalen Ramsey in the backfield? How can they be disruptive against the Seahawks and what Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson like to do?
Well, you already know Aaron Donald. He's unguardable. He's unguardable. Like you have to double dribble team the man every single play. And then not only that, do we have Ramsey in the defense, but then we have Darius Williams who really stepped up this year. He made a lot of big plays. He's regarded as a top 10 corner this season. And then we have our other starting safety returning. He's been out half the season, Taylor Rapp. So he's been out, but he's coming back to a number one defense to make us even better. So Now we have better coverage. We can blitz a little bit more, and we always get to Russell Wilson. We always put Russell Wilson in the dirt. So this just makes it even easier. The fact that we have better coverage and we can blitz more guys, it's going to be a rough day for him. It's going to be a very long day for Wilson.
It might be a rough day for Wilson, but let's not get it twisted. Russell Wilson knows how to get the job done, especially when it's late game.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's got a guy like DK Metcalf who's just like Megatron out there, man. He's a beast.
Yeah, facts. But in the last matchup, DK only had 2 catches for like 20-something yards. So he's not going to be able to rely on him too much when we got Ramsey right there giving him the clamps.
Yeah, I mean, the game's going to be about it's going to be about adjustments, really, at the end of the day when it comes down to it. Do you think this is going to be a close game, or you think this is going to be a blowout?
Oh, no, it's going to be close. You can never count the Seahawks out, and you can never count the Rams out, especially in a conference game. So it's going to come down to the last drive. I have the Rams winning this by, I think we'll be down by 3, and then we'll lead that comeback drive, get a touchdown, we'll win by 4.
Okay. All right, y'all.
Yeah.
Well, look, hey, the first pick for the Morning Grits, pick 6, my man D White, he's going with the home team. He's going with the Rams.
Yes, sir.
And now we're going to move on to Tampa Bay versus the Washington football team. The Washington football team, I don't even think they should have even made it into the playoffs. You know, if you don't have a winning record, you shouldn't even be in the playoffs. But anybody is better to be in the playoffs in the NFC East than the Eagles. And also, I'm glad that these Cowboys did not make the playoffs, man. I'll tell you that.
Hey, facts. But if they were a healthy team, I think they'd be head and shoulders above the Washington team as far as being in the playoffs. Because Dak was throwing for 500. He was throwing for 500 a game. So if he didn't get hurt, offensive line was still there. I definitely think they could have had a promising season, even though they did go like 1 for 5 or 1 for 4 before he got hurt. But I think they would have turned it around. So, but in this one, I'm definitely taking the Bucks. Washington is not ready to be here. We like quarterback has problems. Like we're not even sure if old boy is gonna have his ankle, if he's gonna be ready to play the whole game.
Right.
And then they just cut Haskins. They just cut Haskins. So we don't know who the third string is. Like, is he gonna be good? Is he ready to go? So it's a toss up. But they do got a young bull on the defensive line. And Chase, what's his name? Chase, but
Chase Young.
He's a bulldog. Chase Young, he's a bulldog, man. He's a bulldog.
Yeah, and you know, and Washington does have a weapon. I forgot the kid's name, but that wide receiver, he's a rookie. And Washington does have a couple weapons, you know, but I was even surprised with Washington even getting this far. Like you said, the quarterback situation has been shaky ever since the beginning. Actually, ever since Alex Smith went down year and a half ago. You know, and for him to even come back and to have to start because of their starting quarterback getting hurt within the first 2 or 3 games this year showed a lot of commitment to Alex Smith, showed a lot of resolve that Alex Smith had to be able to get his body and his mind mentally prepared to play this game after his leg was completely shattered.
Right. Yeah, because that does take a lot of mental toughness because, like, if my leg gets shattered, I'm not sure exactly how I want to be out there. You know, if I'm really feel comfortable rolling out the pocket, moving to the left, doing this, doing that. So it definitely does take a strong resolve and a true passion for the sport. But we're definitely going to have to see exactly how he meshes with the offense after being out for so long, you know, because that timing's going to be off. He's going to have a guy coming across the slant, and who knows if he's going to be on the money, you know, if he's going to be a little jittery because after taking a hit like that, he's definitely going to be scared, you know, to take another hit. So we'll see how that goes.
That ankle was broke a couple of weeks ago. You know, I don't know, you probably saw a couple of pictures that he had where his ankle was bleeding. You know, he had that broken ankle. So for him to even come back after shattering the leg and then having that broken ankle this year, you know, that's going to be kind of crazy. I'm with you. I think the Bucks win this game as well, too.
And they have Ndamukong Suh. And we all know Ndamukong Suh is not the cleanest player. So he'll do whatever it takes to win the game. And with a fragile guy like Alex Smith right now, that's not what you want to go against. That's for sure. So
right. Speaking of fragile, one thing I can say is fragile about the Bears is their offense. You know, the Bears this year didn't put up a lot of points. You know, the quarterback situation, benching Trubisky, then going to Foles. Then
Mm-hmm.
you and I even talked about it. I thought that they should have kept Trubisky throughout the year, um, just to let him grow and to see how he would
Right.
progress because they had a complete team. They had a defense. They had some weapons at wideout as well, and they have a running game. What's going on with this
They do have
situation
Tyler,
here
yeah.
against New Orleans?
With New Orleans can do a couple of things, man. Like when they want to attack you, they're gonna blitz you tough. And with a young quarterback, a quarterback like Trubisky, he hasn't proven to be sound in the pocket. So when he gets blitzed, he's gonna make mistakes. That's gonna be the number one problem. But then two, they have a couple good cornerbacks too. Like they have Lattimore. He's in my opinion the top 12, top 10 quarterback. So cornerback. So with that right there, you have a couple guys blitzing off the edge, and then you have an elite corner over there. It's going to make it really tough to get those passes home, especially when you have a shaky quarterback. So it's going to be one of those games, man. I think the Saints run away with this one. I think this was a blowout, easy money.
Yeah, especially when Michael Thomas is back. So he'll be playing in the playoffs. I know Breeze is waiting to get his number one receiver out there to make a connection, throw a couple deep bombs, a
Definitely.
couple crossing routes, something up the middle to where he could just break open, for a big play. So I expect a lot of points to be put up, even though, the Bears have really good defense, especially with Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
Like you said, the offense for the Bears, I don't think that they can actually handle the defense that New Orleans will bring.
Right. And then, like you said too, Khalil Mack coming off the edge. We've seen Drew Brees be a little fragile these past couple years. So we
True.
don't exactly know, how he'll hold up when he's against the pressure. Because what was it last season? He broke his hand or his pinky or something on somebody's helmet. This year he had another hand or wrist injury. So it's gonna be another one of those seasons where it's kind of rough, and he broke a couple ribs this season too. So we'll really have to see if he can handle those hard hits from Khalil Mack and then the other guys on that defensive line because they're going to come after him too. So, but he has so many weapons, like he has Kamara out of the backfield,
Kamara,
and
yeah.
like you mentioned, he has Michael Thomas, and then he has the backup quarterback dude who's he's
Yeah,
a jack of
Taysom
all
Hill.
trades. So
Right.
so and then the tight end's pretty good too. So he has people he's gonna be able to throw the ball to, whether it's deep, short, coming across the middle. He's gonna be there, and we know he can get the ball to whoever. So I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
whatever the weakness is, he's gonna exploit it, and it's gonna be, like we said, it's gonna be a runaway game.
Yeah, big time. I mean, because like you got to think about the incentive that New Orleans has to win this game. I mean, the incentive that they have to even get to the Super Bowl. New Orleans.
Yeah,
Drew Brees, he's going to be retiring soon, but he's a legend, and nobody even talks really about Drew Brees being like the best quarterback of all time when he has the numbers to kind of prove that he can really do his thing when he's out there on the field. Drew Brees, I think, will elevate this team by his mere presence alone to where they can really do
yeah,
damage and get to the Super Bowl.
yeah, but I still don't think he's the GOAT though. I just want to throw that in there. I still think Tom Brady's the GOAT because year in, year out, we've seen Tom Brady do this with no name receiver. Like this year, he has an all-star cast,
He's got a
but
squad.
usually he has receivers that you never heard of, and then you think they're solid, and then the next season they're not even on the team anymore, and they're not on another team. They're just like out of the NFL. So that to me what says Tom Brady is head and shoulders like the best, and he has 6 rings alone.
Yeah.
The most winning franchise has 6 rings. Tom
Hmm.
Brady alone has 6 rings, so that says a lot. That carries a lot of weight for sure.
Hey, speaking of which, this too. This kind of brings up the point. He does have weapons. Tom Brady. Tom Brady's got weapons with Michael Evans. He's got Antonio Brown. Where has Antonio Brown been this whole year, man? Is he going to show up
Well,
in the playoffs?
he came in late, so I'll give him that. And then it took him a little while to get used to it. But these past 2, 3 weeks, him and
Hmm.
Gronk have really, really stepped it up a lot, and they've really shown that they can hold their own, and they're rebuilding that chemistry with Brady. And to me, I think that's scary. That's one of the scariest things you can see in the NFL to see Antonio Brown and Tom Brady on the same page, and then Gronk and Tom Brady back on the same page. Yeah,
Wow.
they're out. I don't think Mike Evans is coming back to playoffs, but they still have Chris Godwin.
Okay.
And then I have a couple of backs out the backfield who can still get the job done. LaShawn McCoy and that cat out of USC, and then they have another big power back. I can't think of his name right now, but he has weapons around him. So it's going to be a scary sight. The fact that they're all getting in sync again it's like I said, it's going to be a long day for Washington. It's going to be a real long day for Washington. Them and the Bears, honestly, should not be in the playoffs. Like, really, them and the Bears are the two teams who are just like, they lucked out. Like, Washington
Right.
lucked out because of the conference, and the Bears lucked out because they added an extra team to the playoffs. So it's it's going to be a long day for those two teams, for sure.
Yeah. One team that kind of lucked out this year was the Colts. The Colts getting
Oh,
Phillip
yeah.
Rivers. It was actually something that lucked out. It came favorable to the Colts. Everybody was saying
Mm-hmm.
that Phillip Rivers was washed up, that he couldn't lead a team anymore when he was out there with the Chargers. But now he comes over to the Colts, and they have an offense that really did some work this year. Their
Yeah.
defense was pretty solid. I mean, I think they were 11-5 on the season. And they're playing the
Mm-hmm.
Bills. The Bills last year, D. White was my sleeper team. The Bills, I picked
Yeah.
them to be a team that could beat Kansas City last year. I picked them because
Yeah.
their defense was really good. Their defense has always had
It was, yeah.
the ability to step up. The Bills versus the Colts. You got Josh Allen, who came into his own, who's now considered as an MVP candidate for this year with 37
Mm-hmm.
touchdowns and 10 interceptions. This dude has been lighting up the field with his rushing also. Then you got
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs, who got traded over there. Look, that
Uh-huh.
dude leads the league in rushing. In receiving yards. He's also leading the league in receiving, like receptions. So
Yeah.
you give a guy weapons. The running
Mm-hmm.
game is okay. It's enough to where they can go play action pass,
Yeah.
right? But the
Right. Exactly.
defense, along with a quarterback that can run, move outside the pocket, he's not afraid to go get hit. He's gonna stay
Mm-hmm.
inside the pocket and throw the pass. And
Yeah.
most of the time, he's going to hit Stephon Diggs for a deep bomb. Are they
Yeah.
the team to beat? Like, legit, are they the scariest team in here? Who's one of the scariest teams?
Okay. The Chiefs clearly number one, but I think one of the scariest teams because now, like you said, everybody has seen the Bills elevate. Because I was one of the teams who was a Bills doubter. I was a Josh Allen doubter until last season. I watched him do these things, and then this season he backed it up and proved he could be that guy.
Right.
So I think a lot of people are rooting for the Bills and they're hoping they'll be upset. Because like last season, I had the Bills as a team to upset and go to the Super Bowl if it wasn't going to be the Chiefs or the Ravens. This year,
Mm,
my upset team is going to be the Titans. I think the
okay.
Titans definitely have the potential to upset everybody on the list. And that's something that a lot of people, when I tell them, like, the Titans, I'm like, dog, Derrick Henry's going for over 200. He has more over 200 games more rushing over 200-yard games than anybody else. He ran for 2,000 yards this season. The last game of the season, they didn't even have to win. They could have lost it and still made the playoffs. This man had 246 yards. You know what they're going to do, but you cannot stop them.
Right.
So that's my team. That's a team to watch for
That's a
sure.
team. That's a team to watch, and all good reason because Derrick Henry is that guy. Like Derrick Henry, when he's out there, he's definitely with the grits. Derrick Henry is
Mm-hmm.
always doing his thing. But Derrick Henry and the Titans have to go against the Ravens and that Ravens defense. So that's I
Right.
think is a dark horse when it comes to the Ravens because their defense is really good, and let's hope that Lamar Jackson is really on point to where he can really
Exactly.
utilize his running ability
Mm-hmm.
along with his passing.
Yeah. And I'm a big Lamar Jackson guy. I'm a root for the guy until the end of the days, but I'm taking the Titans in this one simply for the fact that you can't stop Derrick Henry. And if you can't stop the running back, then what are you going to do on play action pass? Because you can't half commit. Because if you half commit 3 times, one of those is going to be a run. And he's going to take it to the house because he's proven he can take it 80, 90 yards to the house. So you got to commit on the run. That's their biggest weapon. You got to try to stop the run every single time. But they do have a couple guys downfield, like I think his name is AJ Brown. I always want to call him Antonio Brown,
Yeah,
but I know it's
AJ
AJ
Brown.
Brown. That man, he's a good deep threat. He's catching the ball. He's
Yeah,
doing his thing. As you would say, he's with the grits for sure. He's definitely with the grits. And
right.
uh, and then and then the quarterback Tannehill, man, he was a dude who I think should still be with the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins forgot about him too soon because he got hurt. and they wanted to move on. But I think he was a perfect fit in their system with the running backs and the receivers they had. And once they got rid of him, they had to lose other people. So I think he found another good home here, and he's
Yeah.
another guy that a lot of people overlook. Like he's not, I wouldn't say he's top 5 or anything, but he's a guy who can definitely change the game because he has a good arm. He knows when to run, when to slide, when to get down, when to throw the ball away. Like he has a good mental about him and a good football IQ. So
Yeah.
I'm taking the Titans until they lose to the Chiefs in the conference
Yeah.
in the conference championship.
Yeah. I mean, football is one of those sports where it's a toss up, and like you said, sometimes
Exactly.
you can give up on your quarterback too early. And one person I thought, the Browns were going to give up on was Baker Mayfield, and they
Yeah.
didn't. And everybody knows here at the Morning Grits podcast that I do not care for Baker Mayfield. I think he's
Mm-hmm.
overrated. But he
Facts.
has really balled out this year. They got Stefanski as a head coach, where everybody thought that was a bad move for them bringing him in as a head coach because he's been with the organization for a very long time. Look, relationship matters when it comes to head coach and also for
It
your
does.
quarterback. He's not going to be
Mm-hmm.
there, Stefanski, this next game because he's out with COVID. There's a few other
Right.
players. I think about 6 players that are starting right now for the Browns that won't be available due to COVID. Even if
Yeah.
they still played, and you already know your boy Juju was on that beat when he was talking smack today.
Oh, hey, he's for sure. Okay, so Juju, after he danced on the middle of the field, did his little thing, and then got rocked, he should not be talking about anybody, man. He should know the consequences that come with talking trash. And he honestly really, really might want that smoke to say, hey, I'm saying the Browns guys are no name guys. We're going to run over them. But I think you really have to think about the running game. And I think he's discounting the Browns running backs because with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, it's really, really hard to stop those guys. Because if you stop one, you're not going to stop the other because when one guy gets going good, when he gets tired, he has a really, really solid backup. So they have that perfect 1-2 tandem. They can both catch the ball in the backfield. And then Baker Mayfield, in my opinion, he's like you said, he's overrated. And I think this year, yeah, he elevated his game, but I want to credit that to the running backs
To
because
the running game.
Nick
Okay.
Chubb, yeah, because they take so much pressure off of him because they're running for over 100 yards every single game. So when you have that consistency in the backfield with 2 different running backs, it's ridiculous. Like I said, you can stop one guy, but you're not going to stop the other. But there was a couple times this season where both of those guys were either over 100 or close to 100 yards. You got 2
Mm-hmm.
running backs going for 100 yards in a game and a touchdown or two. It's hard. It's hard to stop. And then they're adding another 50, 60 yards in the receiving game. So that takes pressure off of the receivers and the quarterback because now he can check down and know that he has a guy who's going to make tackles. He's going to make tackles miss and he's going to get up the field. So that helps a lot. And then of course Landry, man, ever since Beckham went down, Landry
Right. He
definitely
became
stepped
that
it up.
guy. He did.
Yeah.
He did. He did. But it's going to take more than just Landry. It's going to take more than just Nick Chubb. And it's going to take more than just Kareem Hunt to try to run the
Well,
ball
they
and try to
also
get
have
around that Steelers defense, though.
yeah, because yeah, okay, yeah. So the Steelers, they have a good pass rush, and they have solid cornerbacks. Like they have like a top 20 cornerback, but Hilton, I don't think he can keep up with Juice all game. And if he's not following Juice, I don't even think he can keep up with Tyler Gabriel. And then they have a solid tight end too. So you have one good cornerback, like one top tier cornerback. And
Uh-huh.
then if you blitz, but like I said, with those quick outlets, throwing to the flats, and knowing those guys can get 5-10 yards off the catch, I think it's gonna be a really really rough day. And I think this game's gonna be close, but I'm definitely
Yeah.
taking the Browns.
Yeah. That's very interesting. You're taking the Browns. The Browns did beat the Steelers last week to get into the playoffs.
Uh huh.
The Browns, the Steelers haven't been the same ever since they were undefeated. I think they were at 11-0. They haven't been the same. They're 12-4 to end off the season. I
Yeah.
thought they were an overrated team when it came them being 11-0. I didn't think that they were a true 11-0 dominant football team, but I definitely do have them winning. But let's go ahead and recap here, right? Let's go ahead and
Mm-hmm.
recap and see what you got for this first round matchups or for the wild
All
card
right, let's do it.
matchups. Okay, so Tennessee versus Baltimore. You have Tennessee winning that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you got Tennessee, I got Baltimore. Then we have Pittsburgh versus Cleveland. Pittsburgh versus Cleveland, you have Cleveland,
Mm-hmm.
I got Pittsburgh, right?
Okay.
Then on
Okay.
this side here, you have Buffalo versus Indiana. We both have Buffalo coming out there, right?
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
Washington versus Tampa Bay. Who do you have? Washington versus Tampa Bay. You have Tampa Bay, correct?
I have Tampa Bay. Yeah.
Okay. We already know who you got with Seattle versus the Rams.
I gotta
You
go with the
repping the
home
blue and
team. I gotta
yellow
go with
right
the home team.
now.
Yep.
That's a nice
And
jersey, by the way.
I will say, whoever wins Rams Seahawks goes to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna put that on wax right now. Whoever wins Rams Seahawks goes to the Super Bowl for NFC.
Wow. Wow. Well, enough said. Well, let's ask this next round then. Next round matchups. Who do
Mm-hmm.
you got? Who do you have facing Green Bay?
Oh well, I got the Rams facing Green Bay because we're gonna win
Okay.
tomorrow, handle
Okay.
business, and then we'll play Green Bay in Lambeau, take them down, and then I definitely have the Saints and the Bucks showing off, like going
Okay.
at it, and in that one, I'm gonna take the Bucks. I'm gonna take the Bucks over the Saints.
Okay. So you have the Bucks going to the Super Bowl?
No, 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 no. I have the Rams playing the Packers and the
Okay.
Bucks playing the Saints. I have the Rams beating the Packers and the Bucks beating the
Ah,
Saints. But then
gotcha.
the Rams beating the Bucks again, just like we did earlier in the season, beating them and going to the Super Bowl.
So you got the Rams going to the Super Bowl, beating the Bucks to get there. Gotcha.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
on the AFC side,
Mm-hmm.
second round, who do you have against Kansas City starting off?
Second round, I have the Browns. I have the Browns losing to the Chiefs.
Okay.
It's Yeah, because once the Browns get there, it's gonna be a long day. Chiefs just gonna pick them apart. And then I have the Titans playing. I have the Titans playing the Bills, and in that one, I'm taking the Bills over the Titans, but then I'm taking the Chiefs over the Bills.
Okay. So
So I
you
got
have the Rams versus the Chiefs
yes,
in the Super
sir.
Bowl.
Uh
And who do you got to
huh.
win that Super Bowl? Let me guess.
Hey, who would I be if I rooted against my team? You know what I mean? Like, do the Chiefs have a chance? Yeah, but I'm rolling with the number one defense, the number one player in the NFL. We're about to take it. I should have worn my Donald jersey today, really, if it was
You
keeping
should
the
have, could
buck.
have,
But
but you didn't. And you could have been
yeah,
real with
because
your
because
boy.
because
And you could
our
have
running
told
back
your
need
boy,
help.
look, man, you could have been real with your boy, man. You could have told your boy here on the Morning Grits podcast right now that the Rams wasn't going to make it to the Super Bowl, that the Rams
Wow.
wasn't going to win. But you didn't do that. You chose to be a homer. So you know what I gotta do? I gotta break everything down for you. When it comes down to the Super Bowl, right? Your boy Jay with the
Uh
Grits
huh.
is gonna let you know right here, D White. This is how we do it right here on the Morning Grits podcast.
All right,
New
what you got? What
Orleans
you got?
versus
Okay.
Buffalo for Super Bowl 55 in Tampa. Drew Brees and
Mm-hmm.
Diggs, you got some weapons on New Orleans. You have weapons on Buffalo. You have defense on both sides of the ball for both
Uh
teams.
huh.
New Orleans versus Buffalo, and you have Buffalo being the Super Bowl champions in Super Bowl 55.
Well, okay. Why aren't you going with either of the number one teams? Like, what do you have against the Packers, and what do you have against the Chiefs? The Chiefs got two of the top five receivers
The Chiefs are just
and a
like
solid run game.
the Chiefs are definitely well balanced. There's a lot
Uh
of
huh.
there's some holes I think inside the Chiefs game when it comes to the
Okay.
Chiefs and their defense. I don't think their defense is as stiff as it was before, and I think that the Buffalo Bills just have a stronger defense, and they just have like more of a tenacity. They're not as finesse as Kansas City is, and I think Kansas City could be a little too finesse when it comes to the Bills, playing them, and I think that's what's going to hurt them when it comes down to it.
But you really think they could stop these weapons in Travis Kelsey and Tariq Hill? Like,
Yes,
is that possible? And then
yes,
they're
it
gonna be
is.
and then they be dumping the ball off to Edwards Hilaire, who can also run between. All right, hey, you know what?
Look,
We'll see.
it's just as possible for the Buffalo Bills to get there as it's almost improbable or highly improbable for the Rams to get to the Super Bowl and beat the Kansas
Hey,
City
well,
Chiefs.
is it how probable is it for the Raiders to get to the Super Bowl?
The Raiders ain't going nowhere, man. Look, we're not talking about
See,
that. The
all right,
Raiders are
so
a
you know what I
big
mean? How you
disappointment
gonna come
this
after
year.
us? Hey, y'all ain't even make it. Y'all had one win. Y'all won the Super Bowl. Y'all was like, we beat the Chiefs, and that was it. The season from there was like, well,
My Raiders went 6-3, at one part of the year, and they went 2-5 to end the year. I'm very disappointed in the Raiders. I can make a lot of excuses. I can justify the matters of why, COVID this and COVID that, but everybody's had the same playing field. Everybody's had to deal with the COVID issues. Look at the Browns
especially the
going into the
Ravens.
playoffs, right? Look at the Ravens. Yes, especially having to play
Hmm.
Pittsburgh in one of those weeks and having to deal with that right after Thanksgiving. So everybody's had the
Right.
same playing field. At the end of the day, it comes down to coaching. At the end of the day, it comes down to who wants it more. And these teams that are in
Hmm.
the playoffs right now, they want it and they want to win. And there's a championship on the line. And it's Super Bowl 55. There's a title for 2020 to win it all for your squad. And that's what these teams are going to do. That's what we have going on. My man D White came out to support the Morning Gets podcast today. So I definitely
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
you coming in, my man. We love to have you back again, bringing your
Of
expertise,
course.
bringing your knowledge. But it's your boy Jay with the grits, my man D White.
Yes, sir.
We here and we out. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Morning Grits podcast.